कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, अरे कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, साहब मिले सबूरी में, अरे साहब मिले सबूरी में, मन लागो यार फकीरी में।
If you meet something and you are not conscious, aware, then there is some blocked energy, so to speak, fear or whatever.
Yes.
You act out of reaction.
Yes.
So, what would be in the moment? There's no choice. You just react. But what would be the way to respond? You could say idly, but how do we do it now here?
Yes. Now, it's a very good question. Given that we all are conditioned beings, given that we all have blocked energy and stuff that is lying suppressed in the mind, what is the way to respond? Life continuously presents us with situations that appear as challenges, right?
Yeah.
How to respond? How to respond? All right. Let's say I indeed do suggest a way to respond. What would the way immediately become? You say that you are conditioned, hence you cannot respond fully. The response becomes limited, stunted, narrow, constrained. Yes? So you are saying what hence is a better way to respond, right? Now let's say I do come up with a way, ostensibly a better way to respond. Immediately that way would become conditioned, right? You see this?
Is dat ook weer conditionele reactie?
You see, that which we call as our constraints, that which we call as our constraints, did it come to us as a constraint? Okay. That which we are now calling as the conditioning of the mind, when it came to the mind, did it say, hello, I am conditioning and I am now going to dominate the mind? Did it say that? What did it say?
Making only trouble in my mind.
No, please, we want to go into the process of conditioning.
I think it's neutral, and we make it say. Our mind is making it say.
Yes.
It comes
You
as
see-
a neutral
you see,
thing.
when-
It's just an.
There is so much that comes to the mind. There is just so much that comes to the mind. There's an infinity of happenings, of stimuli that the mind is perceiving.
Yes.
The mind really does not store all of that.
Mhm.
Hmm?
No.
Of course not.
The
Maybe
mind
it-
selectively stores a few things.
Yeah.
The mind stores only that which the mind considers to be important for some reason.
Or can take in this.
Or can take.
in this abundance of
Or can take. So
of
that
energies and
yes.
things
So,
coming
so
in.
that's what also makes it important. That this is important because this is, something that I can assimilate,
Mhm.
right? So it has to be special. When conditioning 2 comes, it has to be taken in by the mind only if the mind finds it important. Only if the mind says, oh, there is something in it, I must allow it in. Not only allow it in, but actually preserve it. Otherwise, you see, the mind also has a way of forgetting.
But does the mind make its choices on
Yes.
basis of the past,
Yes,
past
yes,
experiences
yes,
and,
yes, yes.
and preferences,
Yes.
and what the mind wants to,
Yes.
But
what we want to see. Yeah. Sorry.
nee, maar die vet gaan maar.
Nee, it's
Maar
alright.
I mean, we are talking about the mind, about the pain body. Like if this is really like a little man there in my mind choosing, for example, yesterday many beautiful things happened, 2 bad things. Why only that bad thing stuck in my mind?
Please appreciate that we are not talking about a man in here. We are talking about a woman in here, and the woman is you.
The woman is?
You.
Me.
We all exist here. You are not sitting on this couch. You are sitting in your mind. Okay, but we'll continue with the thing about conditioning, and we'll continue about the thing with a way to respond, the thing that he said. When conditioning comes, we said it does not honestly say that I am coming as conditioning, I am with the intention to possess you and dominate you, right?
No.
Mm-hmm.
We are also saying that we do have some say in allowing ourselves to be conditioned, because we conveniently forget so much else.
Yeah.
Think of this morning, you have gone through so many experiences. Do you really remember each single one of them? You don't. But at the same time, you would be remembering many of your experiences from 5 years back, 10 years back, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you? Maybe 40 years back. You still remember that. Now, why is it so that you choose, I'm assuming for the while, that we indeed do make a choice. Why is it that you choose to remember a few things and forget the rest?
Because the mind decided that that's important.
That's important. So remember that conditioning never comes as conditioning. Conditioning comes in as safety, security, pleasure, something valuable. That's why the
or
mind...
avoiding pain.
Yeah?
Or avoiding pain.
Or avoiding pain, which means that it has a certain pleasure to it, right?
Yeah,
Avoidance of
yeah,
pain
yeah.
is a step towards pleasure. Right? When it comes, it appears nice. That's why we let it in. Do we see this? Had it clearly said that I am coming to ruin your mind and destroy your life, would we have allowed it?
No.
It is allowed entry, it is given a seat in the mind, and it is given nutrition in the mind only because it appears benign. Not only benign, actually helpful. We say, let it in, it's a good thought. Let it in, it's a helpful method.
That is what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what we say, but yeah, that's what I say. Okay, welcome.
Dat alles natuurlijk van het mind.
Oh.
Ja.
Jeetje.
Yes?
Yes.
So what appears like a friend at the time of gaining entry into your house enters and very soon possesses your house, and then you find no way to evict him. Your house, you find, is no more your house. It has now been taken over by the stranger who masqueraded as a friend. So now when you are asking for a way, a method to be spontaneous and childlike, you are asking it in all good spirit, right? And the moment I give an advice, you will probably take it in. The chances are you will let it in because you think that the advice is going to be helpful. You'll think that the advice is not an imposition upon you, but something that came to you on your own request. You said that you want it. The other one just provided it, so you will be eager to come here, and it goes in. It goes in without any barriers, checks, and what does it do inside? Remember that you have allowed it in only because you consider it helpful and important. So it goes in here and does not get deleted. It remains in the memory, and whatever remains in the memory very quickly becomes your load, your conditioning. What else is conditioning? All mind stuff is conditioning.
Okay, but I feel some constraint here. And what would you say to me right now?
Yes. You feel a certain constraint?
Yeah.
Continue feeling the constraint.
Mhm.
Continue feeling the constraint. Would the constraint be there? Please be very attentive to this. Would the constraint be still there if you do not dislike it?
No.
Would the constraint be still there if you do not resist it?
So, sorry, just to understand, because I think it's very important this, but I want to understand it good. What you say, if I understand you, is that when the thoughts and the resistance come, in other words, I have to accept it.
No,
I
you don't
to
have
ac-
to.
No,
You don't have to. That's not what I'm saying.
no, that's not right.
This cult of acceptance is another big hoax.
No. So sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, yes, okay, let me say this. So thought comes.
Yeah.
This thing that you're saying here, the
Yeah.
suppressed mass that is there, and whatever is here, anywhere, or there, is actually there in the mind.
Yeah.
And the mind is actually not here. We are pointing it towards here just out of habit. It's a
Oh.
custom to equate the brain with the mind. The mind is somewhere, or we are somewhere in the mind, whatever, however you want to put it. So a thought comes, and we do not like that thought. We have a certain resistance towards the thought.
Yeah.
What is the thought? What is the thought? What is the thought? The thought is a movement, right?
Okay.
Something has happened. Ripples
Yeah.
in the lake.
Yeah.
Something has just happened, right? Something
Yeah.
has started happening, a movement. Now you don't like the thought because you feel that the thought is harmful, because you think that the thought is not moral, because you think that the thought limits you, whatever. So what do you do to this thought? Now this is coming, and now what do you do with this?
You give it attention.
You give it attention, and what is this attention that you give?
Can be either resistance or
So resistance, what does resistance mean? Here is this thing coming and you are resisting it. So what is happening now? How do you resist it?
I don't want you.
the-
Resistance. Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't like it, and not liking is resistance. Now this is coming and I have an attitude towards it. I resist it. How do I resist it? Quickly,
There's another
please.
thought.
Yeah. So there is another thing here,
Just
and
another thought is the
now
resistance.
initially how many of them were there?
One,
And now how many of them are there?
two.
Two, maybe
Yeah.
three, maybe four. It becomes a big mess.
Have you actually reduced thought or proliferated it?
No.
By not liking thought, by saying that there is something within you which is not all right, have you taken care of it, or have you given food to it? By taken care I mean reduced it, cleared it, or have you actually multiplied it? What have you done? Remember, all your likes and dislikes and attitudes and methods and whatever you do is all just mind stuff. If there is something blocked within you, is it the blockage that is the problem?
Or is it?
Let's say this moment you have nothing to do with that which remains blocked. This moment you have nothing at all to do with that which remains blocked. You say, all right, you stay where you want to. Be there. I am all right as I am. I am all right as I am. Let there be a monkey on the back. I can still play. You be where you want to. Maybe you have a right to be there, but I too have an equal right to be where I want to be. And I'll not allow you to take away that right. And you know what? You don't even say this much. Because even saying this much is like
Food for the thought.
you
So
let it-
if you give attention to this monkey,
yes,
again, You give
The
it.
monkey is the attention
all.
that you give to it. Would you please go into this? The monkey does not exist without the attention that you give to it. The monkey is the attention that you give to it. The resistance that you give to any particular thought is exactly the energy that that thought carries. You give no resistance to it and the thought will fall down on its own. Thought has no legs of its own. It moves on your legs. Just like the monkey on your back. Moving on your legs. You don't move, the thought won't move. And the thought cannot survive without moving because all thought is movement. If you don't move, thought cannot survive, thought will fall down.